Well, I don't want to play Fire Elementalist again. Let's play something better than that. Yet again, Venom Mage is not recommended, and Venom Mage might be amazing for Jhin. But Venom Mage is amazing in general. I feel like every character that like wants to even slightly consider being a spellcaster wants to be a Venom Mage. So yeah, let's give this a try. Oh, let me go ahead and get you some tiles. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, it doesn't feel good. You don't even get past the early game as it is nowadays. Maybe I'm like playing poorly. That's like something that can also be the case of for why I'm like not getting past the early game. But I don't know. Like what's the odds? Me getting so bad overnight that I cannot get past the early game, or like something changed in the game. This is a player that has like 40% win rate in this account, or something close to 40% win rate. Might be closer to 30%, to be completely honest, but still, I don't know. Okay, yep. Venom Mage doing Venom Mage things. You just get poisonous vapors and everything dies. Um, Okay, that seems pretty good. So far, leaving aside the issues that I've had with the early game as it is nowadays, I kind of like the whole thing of your HP is your mana that Jhin have going on. Maybe they should get a bit more HP to compensate for that. Maybe plus 1 HP. I don't think they get plus 1 HP. I don't think the base plus 4 HP that they get, like just 4 points of HP, is enough. Yeah, I think they should get more of that, or maybe it should like scale with leveling up. Maybe I haven't gotten far enough into the game with a Jhin to see that it levels up. But if it doesn't, I think it should. But I don't know. Wonder if Jhin works better with tri-school, dual-school spells. Yeah, everything scales off of spellcasting alone. So I would assume that it takes the same amount of skill to get like a level 5 1 school spell than a level 5 3 school spell, because everything scales off of spellcasting alone, which is kind of interesting. But on the other hand, Jhin don't get to learn spells. You learn spells naturally, not from books. So you kind of rely on what the game gives you. It's kind of like Demon Spawn in a sense. With Demon Spawn, you don't really know what kind of mutations you're gonna be getting. With Jhin, you don't know what kind of spells you're gonna be getting, which is kind of fun. I like it, or I like the concept. Let's see how the game unfolds for me. And as you can see, Guardian Spirit is marked as useless because I don't have mana. All my spells are cast off of HP, so there's that. Alrighty. So yeah, I wonder if potions of magic are like useless for Jhin. Oh, I think I can already cast Toxic Radiance. I mean, probably not because it's like super hard to cast and it will probably kill you. But I am experience level 4. I might be able to cast Toxic Radiance. Scroll of Acquirement, okay. I might want to get the money. I'm actually gonna like leave it aside for now. I'm probably gonna acquire the money very soon. But I kind of find it interesting that it's D2 and we found a scroll of acquirement. It was not particularly a strong scroll of acquirement, so I guess it's okay. I wonder if I poisoned the wizard before it went invisible. Now that it is invisible, I cannot really poison it anymore. That was a huge nerf to poisonous vapors that was applied in this character version, or in this scroll version rather. In 0.26, which is stable, you can use poisonous vapors on like a tile that you don't really see a monster in. In 0.27 you cannot do that anymore, and I don't really like that because I did use the ability to place it wherever I wanted, even if it didn't really do anything unless it targeted a monster, because it was a pretty good way to get rid of invisible monsters like Sigmund or so. Now if it used to be that Venom Mage against Sigmund would just like destroy Sigmund, even if Sigmund went invisible, because you can just like target poisonous vapors wherever Sigmund is and kill him like that, but not anymore. Yeah, not anymore. Yeah, also I don't really like the changes to Uzos. I feel like if you're gonna make a monster deal a different kind of damage, it should receive a name change. Just as a heads up for older players that don't usually have to like keep checking monsters. Like I mean, I know what nulls do. I'm not gonna check a null every game to see if something has changed for nulls. But yeah, the earlier today I had a Jin that got like frozen by a noose, and I was like, why did that happen? And then I like very quickly realized, but I don't know. I feel like maybe it could be renamed into Chili Ooze or something and be like recolored or something like that. Maybe given a new tile. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm complaining too much about things that don't really matter. That I would go as far as to say that I do that. I do that a lot. Yeah, and for that I apologize. I'm just like speaking my mind and like making comments on what I see. Okay, but coming back to the character, it's a Venom Mage. There's not really much to say. It takes a bit longer than a melee character, but it's definitely much stronger than a melee character. Really strong. Ooh, except when you encounter Menkaure. Yeah, Menkaure might be a problem for this character. I guess I already have Ignite Poison and Meth, so it's not that big of a deal. It's a bit too far away from me. I guess if I'm gonna be doing that, I might as well wait for it to arrive to me. Yeah, you know what, when your HP pool is also your mana pool, you probably don't want to be casting spells at 10 HP. That might be taking me some time to adjust to, because it's like such a unique mechanic. I would say that it makes you play the game in a very different way. Okay, Menkaure was one-shot by the Cloud of Fire. Very convenient because I didn't really have a way to kill Menkaure. Apart from that, Menkaure being a mummy is immune to poison. We got the temple. I want to try Behumet actually. I want to see how Behumet works with these guys. I would assume that Behumet can teach you spells, because like it follows to me, well, to me it follows like a similar logic. That, for example, deep dwarfs and healing, right? So you as a deep dwarf do not heal, but monsters heal you, or rather, for god, but gods heal you. So you as a Jin don't. learn spells from books, but maybe gods can teach you spells. Yeah, I kind of want to give that a try. I'm gonna try to go Behemoth. Robin of the Strong Arm. Has she always been called that? I don't know. Maklev or the Shining One seems to make sense with the recovery. Yeah, I don't know how Behemoth works because Behemoth gives you mana on kill, but these guys don't have any mana, so yeah, that's kind of interesting to me. Back. Yeah, do not pick Behemoth because you cannot learn spells. Behemoth is extremely bad with Jhin. You don't get the spells and you don't get the healing, right? Or I guess I don't know. That is something that I strongly disagree with. I feel like with Behemoth you should be able to get the spells. Yeah, you should be able to get the spells because gods should bypass everything. Like, I don't know, some gives you mutations past resist mutation, you get curing even though you're a deep dwarf. That kind of stuff, like gods constantly break the rules in this game. Why cannot Behemoth break the rules for Jhin, right? Like, I feel like Behemoth should give you spells. It would make Behemoth like a legit pretty compelling spell as a Jhin, but I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that one. Okay, this White Imp can be like deadly, because I'm weak to cold, unfortunately, but we have not really encountered anything to counteract that. Mac very good. Am I... Yeah, I encountered the temple and I just bypassed it. Let's go to temple. Oh, I bypassed it because of Robin. Yeah, wow. Like, my short-term memory is so bad. I wish it was better. This is gonna be painful. Phantoms blinking you on every attack plus plus a background that requires a monster immune to poison to like step on tiles on fire. Not really comfortable. Yeah, I would even go as far as to say that it's pretty bad. I guess I can use Holy Word against this Phantom, and it's actually worth it. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that was a pretty good use of Holy Word. I don't really mind using a Holy Word this early in the game, because it's like a consumable that I don't really use a lot of. It's not like Silence or like Torment that I really like using. Oh, that's actually a good thing to have, because it makes me not be weak to cold. Yeah, that's a pretty good thing to hold in my hand. Yeah, well, now that I think about it, it wouldn't be the first time that something like theoretically makes a lot of sense for a species when it comes to a god. Like, for example, Palentongas and the Roll and Wujian, you would think, hey, that sounds pretty good. Burns the shimmering ash in your grasp, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, Palentongas and the Roll and Wujian, you would think, hey, maybe you get Roll plus Launch. I don't think you get Roll plus Launch, unfortunately. So yeah, it wouldn't be the first time that cool synergies that could theoretically happen with gods and species are just completely ignored. I don't know. It doesn't feel good. But it is what it is. I would assume that in a similar vein, Sif Muna is also pretty bad with for the Jhin. At least these guys get like natural poison resistance. Yeah, immunity to poison. Shoutouts to that. Okay. You know, earlier today I was playing like Slay the Spire. I had a very brief but intense period of time with where I was like playing Slay the Spire a lot. I think I played Slay the Spire for like 2 weeks, and I had like easily over a hundred hours. It was actually like insane, and very unhealthy too. Um, but that's kind of my relationship with games. Um, Usually, I think that's how it's been throughout the entirety of my life. I get very into a game and I play it, and I stop being into the game because I played so much, and then I leave it behind. But my point is that I went back and played it a bit earlier today, and I had a good time actually. I did like Ascension 9 with the Watcher, in my first attempt. Like I only played one game, and I did Ascension 9 with the Watcher, and I had a good time, and I was like, well, that was a pretty fun half an hour. So, and then I went back and checked like how long it took me to beat that run of Slay the Spire, and it took me more than an hour, and I was like, man, this game is dangerous. I really shouldn't play. I really should like maybe not stop playing it altogether when it comes to Slay the Spire. I have to clarify, but like play it very carefully. Like maybe play one run a day, because it's like a huge time eater. I am surprised though of how much of a time eater that game is. I'm even I've even considered like streaming a bit of it, but I don't know. I don't really like streaming things that are not Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup in this account, and I don't really want to make a new account to stream other things that are not Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. I feel like I already have like my hands full with streaming in this account, my Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup things. That's like kind of my priority, but we also have like the other account where I stream Magic in Spanish, which is like completely unrelated to this because it's in Spanish, and I like stream in English in here. So yeah, I don't want to even further dilute that by streaming Slay the Spire on a third channel. Yeah, it's never gonna happen. But with that being said, you could always allocate a time or day for a variety day. I could think about that. Like maybe I should like make a poll among the subscribers. Like, would you mind if I do a variety day or something? Maybe it does have like interest, or maybe it does draw interest, and I might actually be able to do it. I'm gonna think about that. With that being said, let's go ahead and get a goth. I've heard that Maclev is good. You know what? Let's just go Maclev. Let's just go Maclev for the good old experience of getting back mana on kills. I should go back and play a version where Maclev gives you mana on kills. That was the way it was back in the day. Like when I first started to play the game, Maclev gave you mana and life on kills. It was so broken. Like pretty much exactly as he is right now, but he also gave you mana on kills. It was absolutely insane. Yeah, that was soon after I started playing the game. That was removed and given to Behumet. And yeah, ever since then Behumet has had it, and it's pretty good. Well, not really removed and given to Behumet, because I'm pretty sure Behumet also had it. It's just that Behumet never gave you HP back on kill, and Maclev kind of did. So yeah, why would you ever go Behumet when Maclev kind of does the best thing that Behumet does better? So yeah, I assume that at some point in my life I'm gonna want to train a lot of fighting skill, so I can. Oh, you know what? Maybe the time is now. Yeah, maybe the time is now. I'm gonna train spellcasting to 9, and we're gonna be training some fighting skill, probably like 15 fighting, so I can have more HP, so that I do not like end up dying to my spells. Yeah, we're gonna go hard on the fighting. Since these are some of my first runs with Jin, never tried it before. I think there was an attempt to bring Jin into the game way earlier in the game development. It was, I mean, I was already like a very I won. Maybe veteran is not kind of the best word, but I had a fair amount of wins in the game already. It was actually during one of the periods where I was just like in a break from crawl because, as I mentioned before, like I play a lot of a game and then I kind of burn out, and then I eventually come back and I get very into it again. I've been kind of like trying very hard to regulate with crawl. There's been a couple of occasions where I'm like, oh, I want to play crawl, but I know that if I play crawl, I won't be able to play it like later in the day, and that like takes away all my content. So that's like obviously a thing that I don't want, and I actively like try very hard not to play outside of stream because I know that if I do, it's like kind of game over for me and my content, which is pretty bad. Oh wow, this raid survived. Wow, okay, that's not good. Yeah, it's actually pretty bad. Oh, that's seriously bad. I don't think I'm gonna be able to kill it with Sting. Please? Thank you. Okay. Oh, also Kubus armor. As a Jin. Am I not like literally a Bink made out of fire or something? Why can't I cast as a Kubus armor? It's even enhanced because I have a Staff of Cold. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, I don't know if I agree with these guys being able to cast Osakubus armor. You would expect them to not be able to do so if they are. No, I guess I'm confusing Jeans with a Efreeti. Yeah, if it was an Efreet, it would make a lot of sense that they wouldn't be able to cast Osakubus armor. Okay, how am I going to deal with this Centaur skeleton? I guess we can do that. Yeah, I guess even with 3 pips of fire resistance, standing on the cloud of fire kind of hurts a bit, unfortunately. Okay. Okay, this actually seems kind of doable. Yeah, now all I have to do is tank the Wraith. Okay, perfect. Perfect. That was the greatest of my worries. Like, how am I going to kill that Wraith? The whites and stuff, they don't worry me as much as the Wraith because, as probably everyone here knows, Wraiths can slow you, and if you get slowed by a Wraith, it's just like really messed up, and you're probably not gonna be surviving. At least this early in the game, of course. Later on, it's still a huge negative thing to be on the receiving end of course. Okay, I see that. Well, whites usually have good weapons, and this time it also seems to be the case. Yeah, I wanted to wait, but I didn't feel like I was able to. Okay, that went just fine. There's a lot of undeath in this level. I might want to leave. I might want to dive past this one because when it comes to mummies and that kind of stuff, zombies and all that jazz, I mean, I can kill them. It's not like I'm an ice elementalist. Those guys really do suffer with undeath. But I would prefer to not fight them because the way that I kill them is like so janky. I have to use Meph Ignite Poison, which is kind of expensive when it comes to the mana, and I guess for this character it's actually HP instead of being expensive on the mana. So yeah, even worse than that because if I overcommit and I run out of mana, which is not really mana, but you know what I mean. I could die. So yeah, maybe I should skip this level. It's also not like I really want to explore the entirety of D7, because normally, like, you want to find the temple, right? Finding a temple is actually like an important thing. I already found the temple. I already have a god, so I don't really need to keep exploring D7. As soon as I find the downstairs, I'm gonna be taking them. Yeah, well, that's a hatch. I would rather not take a hatch. Ossuary, 2 rings, and a couple of whites. I wish I had magic mapping. Magic mapping would be extremely useful to read in that situation. Unfortunately, it was not something that I had available, and yeah, it is what it is. I wonder how much my spells are ruined by wearing this buckler. Doesn't seem to affect them a lot. So I think we're gonna be wearing this buckler and just like exploring. And yeah, pretty much the same thing that I said about Undead in the previous level applies to this one. Okay, monsters with poison resistance but not immunity are exponentially easier to deal with because Sting deals damage to poison resistant. So it also poisons them, which is like so good. I feel like centaurs are way too strong nowadays. Like way too strong. It's actually kind of absurd. I think in this situation I was better off just like running towards that centaur. Oh, they were nerfed. I like it. I heard that these guys were gonna be nerfed. They were going to be made into monsters that they were going to be made into this pretty much, like a monster that can hit you for a certain amount for like less damage and kick you for less damage, which is a nerf to Centaur melee to compensate for the ranged buff, which is like significant. And I kind of like the nerf. I am very grateful that at least centaurs got nerfed, because otherwise centaurs were like extremely threatening. Okay, I might not be able to reach it or to reach the Ossuary. It's kind of an annoyance because I feel like this character is well equipped to deal with an Ossuary, as long as it's not like a really messed up Ossuary. There's a couple of them that have raids. Those are probably the worst ones. Oh, that's a juicy ring. That is one juicy ring. It's like all good stuff. It's like only upside. What a crazy good ring. Oh, nice. I might die because of this. Please get confused. Please move away from me. I might die here because this guy's not moving away from me. Please move away from me. I don't think this guy's gonna move away from me. Yeah, something makes me think that it's probably not gonna happen. Were there nerfs to Toxic Radiance? I feel like I have had Toxic Radiance for a fair amount of time, and it just didn't kill the ogre, or it didn't like seriously poison the ogre. I don't know. Maybe I got unlucky. It's probably that. This is the Ossuary. It looks kind of like the Ossuary. No, it's not the Ossuary. One of these has to be the Ossuary. Okay, that went quite well. Looked pretty bad for a second. It turned out to be much better than I thought it was going to be. And now we get to like reap the rewards of that by just like kind of doing this Ossuary. Ossuaries are so good because they're pretty easy to clear, and they're also like pretty good when it comes to loot. Some of the items that you get from a Ossuary are not good. Um, but more often than not, you end up like leaving with a couple of scrolls of teleport and that kind of stuff. Like only upside, you know. Okay, I have 3 pips of fire resistance, so I guess I can sit here just to hold the ground. It's not that big of a deal. Um, but yeah, let's see what spells I got. I guess I can use Searing Ray. Maybe Searing Ray would be good for my character. It gives me a way to deal with monsters that are immune to poison. Okay. I'm making like very liberal use of the interaction between F Cloud and Ignite Poison. I feel like if Venom Magic went back to a time where they didn't have that in their starting book, they would be so much worse. I mean, they would still be pretty decent, but they would be like, oh, you're a fire elementalist and you encounter a Crimson Imp, you cannot do anything. It would kind of be the same with Venom Magi and Undead and Demons. Very glad that is not the case, and they do get Ignite Poison in the starting book. Yeah, back then they were like bad. Yeah, Venom Magi used to be pretty bad, but fortunately it's not the case anymore. We got a couple of potions and scrolls from that. Let's use Identify to see what we got. I dropped 2 potions of magic. I guess they are useless to Jin because they don't have potions of magic, or they don't have mana. Okay. Kind of cute that that guy was throwing Cure at me because I am immune to poison. I will not be poisoned or affected by poison at any point of the game, so there's that. I wonder if these guys can get transmutations, like for example statue form, or what happens in that case. Maybe they cannot use transmutations at all. Okay. Oh, I completely forgot that I had Searing Ray. I should really use that. It's like a much cheaper way to kill things. We got a Ring of Evasion, that's pretty good. I also got a Ring of Eyes that I could theoretically use. I think Evasion is much more valuable. And I see that Searing Ray doesn't follow the monster that you're targeting with it. That's one of the things that makes me not like Searing Ray. I haven't like it's a relatively new spell for me. It wasn't in the game when I was playing like Conjurers and when I really liked Conjurers. So I've never really used it a lot. Yeah, I think my favorite period of time for the game and for Conjurers as well was when Conjurers got Battlesphere in the starting book. It was the equivalent of Venom Magi getting Toxic Radiance and Ignite Poison in the starting book. This is pretty insane, by the way. It's like super good. Okay, I have 3 pips of fire resistance, so I am like very unfazed by the ball's team. Okay, I took 9 damage, but I did cast a spell, so I actually only took 7. And yeah, I think Maclef Jin seems reasonable and actually pretty good. I think I can take over the Robo Fire resistance for Steam Scales. I don't think I will ever need that, and Steam Scales will mitigate a bit more damage because they have more armor class than the Robe, and I already have 2 pips of fire resistance, so I don't really care about losing the third pip. It really doesn't do a lot for my character. Okay, Searing Ray doing Searing Ray things. I wonder how much the damage gets increased when you channel the Ray. 3 dice of 6 is pretty good, but I don't know if that's like minimum damage or maximum damage or what it is. So yeah, I would like very early impressions of Jin is that it seems fun and interesting, but it's definitely better if you start like a Mage Jin. If you start a Melee Jin, Melee is a pretty rough spot in this version. Oh wow, okay, we're gonna be drinking that. Probably I'm gonna wait for experience level 11 and then we're gonna drink that, but we are definitely gonna be drinking that at some point very soon. Okay. Alrighty. Globes of Dexterity. Just so happens that I don't have those and I kinda need them, so we're gonna buy them. I am lacking boots. Oh, boots unavailable. Okay, that's kind of funny. I guess it does make sense because I'm a gym. But I don't have a cloak either. I would like to have one of those at some point in the future. Okay. What do you have? Okay, you're still just a jelly. Alrighty. I'm very glad that I realized that I got Searing Ray. Searing Ray definitely is something that I needed with this character. Do you have a Vorpal hand crossbow? That's the first Kobold Brigand that I see that has a hand crossbow. Oh, a Troll Leather Armor. I wonder how good is that? How good is it with like Jin hurting themselves when they cast the spells? I bet it's better. I bet it's better than Steam Scales. I bet stacking regeneration these guys has to be like crazy good. Just because of the nature of their gimmick. Let's see what we got. Oh, yeah. Like, I completely forgot about the potion of experience that I have, but I still haven't leveled up to 11, so we're fine. Oh, the power to cast Lightning Bolt wells up from within. And guess who has enough skill to cast Lightning Bolt? Okay, not gonna complain about that. Let's go ahead and get 15 fighting. And now we can afford to train something else. I can train maces. I did get a manual of maces. Probably don't really want to do that. I probably want to train some, maybe armor, maybe more spellcasting, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna postpone training spellcasting for a while, and I'll go back to it at some point when I like get a higher level spell that I cannot cast or something. So yeah, for now, probably shields, because I do have a buckler that I kind of want to train for. We are gonna be getting some intelligence. Yeah, did I get... Oh, yeah, I already got Lightning Bolt. And a Dire Flail. No, I don't want that, because I got a shield. I probably should be using a shield. Who knows, maybe I encountered Dark Mole and I get Manifold Assault. That'll be pretty funny. But yeah, as it is right now, I got Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt is like a hugely synergistic spell to have for a Venom Mage. Truly, anything that deals like huge damage is pretty good to complement whatever the Venom Mage gets. Um, I don't think I care about that. Yeah, we can go ahead and drop these actually, these two. Positive energy is never like a ring that you want to be using because nothing really threatens you with, oh no, I need to wear positive energy or it's going to kill me. I guess Shadow Dragons would kind of do that actually if they spawned much earlier into the game. If they spawned where Fire Dragons spawn right now, you would definitely want some form of resistance to negative energy, or you could very realistically be soloed by a Shadow Dragon. Um, even when taking into account that they are like stronger than fire dragons are, even if they were scaled down to be around the same power level as fire dragons are, you would still need the resistance to not be destroyed by a shadow dragon. I would kind of like to see that happen. I feel like negative energy doesn't really come too much into play in this game, especially after the change to Drain. When it drained your skills, it was pretty annoying and potentially dangerous, game-ending even. As it is right now, the HP draining sounds more scary in paper than it actually is when you're like on the receiving end of it, or at least that's what I've encountered throughout my games. Um, Yeah, I guess we want to train some armor. Oh, wait, I guess we want to train evocations instead. Yeah, I'm gonna be getting some evocations. Because why not? I wonder how hard is it for Jin to cast a level 9 spell. I wonder if you can even get level 9 spells. I hope you do. Yeah, it really is a feel-bad moment that Jin's and Behumet just straight up don't work. It's like kind of Palentongas and Wujian, now that I think about it. Palentongas and Wujian don't really work because Palentongas already have kind of a part of Wujian implemented, in the sense that you probably want to roll at things, and Wujian gives you the lunge, so rolling and lunging are kind of like a huge number in the sense that you want to do one or the other. You cannot really do both of them at the same time, unfortunately. Okay, that's looking pretty decent. Okay, pretty good. By the way, as a Venom Mage, like as a rule of thumb, if I am a Venom Mage, I'm gonna do Orc before doing Lair. It might be kind of dangerous for this character because I don't have willpower, but even without willpower, it's like much safer for a Venom Mage to do Orc before Lair, because when you do Lair, you encounter a million fast monsters that are also like poison resistant, so it's like super hard to kill them, right? That includes Hydras, by the way. I guess Hydras are not fast, but they are like very dangerous in melee and poison resistant, so it's like a huge pain for a Venom Mage to kill those. In Nork, you don't really have that problem. The monsters, there's one monster that is poison resistant in Orc, and that would be the Warg. And Wargs are not really that much of a threat. They are more an annoyance for a Venom Mage than an actual threat. Unlike, for example, a Black Mamba. Black Mambas are super messed up as a Venom Mage. Those things just straight up murder you. I don't think I have encountered Orc just yet, so let's go ahead and do D12. I always do D12 anyway, so it's not like oh no, I'm diving too low. No, it's fine. Okay, that went pretty well. How much? Ooh, I gained back all my... No, 15. And okay, I did take a bit of damage during that fight, so it wasn't... Uh, so it wasn't flawless, but it was kind of... It was kind of okay. Like, I guess that's all that needs to be said. At the end of the day, the best thing that you can probably do against Hydras is to not be within melee range of them. We finally got a cloak. Let's go ahead and wear that. So most characters are kind of scared of Hornets because Hornets can paralyze you if you don't have poison resistance. I think if you have poison resistance, they can slow you, but they cannot paralyze you or something weird like that. I don't know exactly how they work. What I do know is that if you're immune to poison, I don't think they can slow you, I don't think they can paralyze you. And it also happens to be the case that if you're a Venom Mage, you just kind of like destroy them. Because they are weak to poison. Most insects in the game are. There's some very special insects like Emperor Scorpions or Ghost Moths that are poison resistant, and those are like the exception rather than the rule. Even high-level dangerous insects like Spark Wasps are not poison resistant, and in fact are weak to poison. So yeah. If I was to get Spider for this character, that would be very convenient. I would love it because it would make the game so much easier for my character. Okay, maybe 10 evocations is a bit too much, considering how I don't have an experience evocable. Let's train it to 8. If I get an experience evocable, I would probably get it to 13 or so. Something that I'm also kind of interested in trying with this character is getting good tip for sure. Regarding doing Orc before Lair as a Venom Mage, yeah, I love to do Orc before Lair as a Venom Mage. Okay, I think it's time for me to train armor, and if I eventually find an experience evocable, I will go back to evocations and get like 15 evocations. Maybe let's get 10 armor. Not that it really matters a lot. I probably should get evasion instead of getting armor. I don't think it will really matter a lot, to be completely honest. Just about insects as a Venom Mage. Oh, that is definitely like a Venom Mage rejoices. Like normally you're like, oh no, I got Spider. I hate spiders. As a Venom Mage, you're like, oh yes, give me Spider and don't give me Snake. Snake is like so hard for a Venom Mage because your usual way of killing things doesn't work in Snake. You cannot do Toxic Radiance in Snake because it straight up doesn't do anything, right? A lot of the Nagas, or rather all of the Nagas, are poison resistant. I think Guardian Serpents are also poison resistant, and most of the snakes also are, like Black Mambas are, and War Moccasins are. There's a couple of them that are not, like Sea Snakes and Shock Serpents, but more often than not, like the average monster that you will encounter there is poison resistant, and that's like messed up for a Venom Mage. On the other hand, you don't have that issue in Spider. You do have a couple of monsters that are like, oh no, this thing is like actually dangerous because I cannot two-shot it from the edge of the screen. But in Snake, all monsters are like that. So yeah, don't try your best not to do Snake. In fact, for a Venom Mage, the ideal lure branches are Spider and Shoals, because both of them die to Toxic Radiance Ignite Poison. Yeah, I really do enjoy my New Swamp took down a promising Merfolk. New Swamp is hard. There's a bunch of monsters there that are like really dangerous. Yeah, especially if you don't have willpower, you might go through Swamp and you're like, ah, yeah, it doesn't matter. And then you encounter a Fenstrider Witch, and you get absolutely dunked on by said Fenstrider Witch. So yeah, just as a rule of thumb, um, always try to have willpower. If you don't have willpower, you're very likely to like make a single mistake and be disproportionately punished as a result of that. That's very NetHack like, to be completely honest. Um, but I don't know how I would change it without like overly simplifying the game. You got greedy, haha. It happens. Like maybe also try to not get greedy. That's kind of an important thing in order to get better at the game and that kind of stuff. You got a Demon Trident and an Elf once, so you thought you were good for Swamp. If you get a Demon Trident as a Merfolk, it's like one of the best things in the world. Even with that with the +4 tridents, I don't think Merfolk wants to wield a Bardiche or a Bardiche. I guess it's supposed to be called Bardiche, not Bardiche. I was used to calling it Bardiche. Um, yeah, even the Merfolk with the +4 tridents doesn't want to use a Bardiche or spears, polearms, because it takes up your shield slot, and it also takes up a ton of experience even if you have +4. So yeah, maybe I would like a glaive actually. I would be kind of okay with a glaive, but a Bardiche is probably too much. Okay, I think that yeah, I think that Sorcerer has line of fire. It could paralyze me. Nah, we're fine. Okay, that went quite well, and we got a Condenser Bane. So let's go back and get some evocations. We got it super early, which is fantastic. I also kind of noticed that experience evocables have been made cheaper. I knew that I was right when I said that they were too expensive. Now that gadget shops had been removed. Yeah, shields are indeed better than a two-hander in general, because monsters just like hit so hard. And overall melee, as a general, is like pretty nerfed. So you want to have as much insurance as you can possibly get when you're meleeing a monster to like not die. Um, yeah, I wonder if changes will be made to that to make like melee more appealing without like nerfing magic, because I kind of like magic. Magic is good as it is right now. It's okay, even if I don't particularly like positional magic that much. It's also like, or maybe don't take that off. Yeah, even if I don't like positional magic that much, it's not like, oh my god, magic is dead, right? There's a couple spells still that are not really positional magic spells, like Toxic Radiance that just hits everything on the screen. I love that kind of spell. Oh, would you look at that? This guy has poison resistance. That could be an issue for my character, except for the fact that there is a teleport trap right there, and I can postpone that problem. Not just completely ignore it, unfortunately, but we can postpone it for the time being. Yeah, Warlord with poison resistance is like the worst thing that you can find here. Maybe Saint Roca with poison resistance is worse than Warlord with poison resistance. No, actually the worst thing that you can find is Saint Roca with a launcher. That is the absolute worst thing, because even if Saint Roca doesn't have poison resistance, if that monster happens to spawn with a launcher, that's messed up. It deals way too much damage for you to be able to deal with that. Oh, okay. The Warlord came back. Okay, Mr. Warlord. I need to set you in a position where I can multi-sap you. Yeah, that's one option. The other option would be to place a cloud of fire on you. I don't think that's gonna cut it for some reason. Yeah, probably teleports. It's my only teleport, but I don't really see how to get out of that without teleporting. Two-handed just got nerfed again with monster attack speed player nerf. Yeah, I mean, melee in general got nerfed as a result of that. Like, that is a very significant player nerf, at least as far as melee goes. But even like two-handers got even more nerfed as a result of that, because with a shield at least you can hope to block something. Without a shield you're kind of out of luck. I don't know. I feel like that change was more of a player nerf than anything we've seen ever. Maybe it was a player nerf on the same level as haste removal. Haste removal was a very significant player nerf. Yeah, something about this doesn't seem quite right. I don't think this is gonna. I don't think this is gonna work. But oh, I got Fireball. Okay, I at some point got Fireball and I only just noticed, so might as well take advantage of that. I could also cast a Sting, but I don't think Sting will get past that Chainmail. How much damage am I dealing with this? Nothing. Do I have a Ring of Fire or something? No, not really. Oh, I'm getting destroyed by the Warlord. You're not even standing on a Cloud of Flame anymore. What even is the point? I guess I can Pillar Dance the Warlord on that Orcish Idol. Yeah, and I have regeneration, so we can like just Pillar Dance the Warlord and get back to full HP very fast. Okay, back at full HP, and the Orc Warlord is not quite at full HP, so we can go ahead and do this. Something about that doesn't seem quite right. Like, I feel like the Warlord is taking much less damage than I am. Oh, okay. I just had to use Acid. Yeah, I just had to use Acid. Acid always fixes everything, especially if you have a bit of training in evocations. Getting those first like 10 points of evocations or so is like very cheap compared to the amount of benefit that you get as a result of that. I kinda love it. I don't even know if I should buy that now that I think about it. Yeah, I'm not gonna buy that Scroll of Enchant Weapon. Holy Ward, on the other hand, I am going to buy. Were those all the shops? What did we get here? Oh wait, I got like a cool Evening Star, an anti-magic Evening Star that I'm definitely gonna be using. Yeah, let's go ahead and yeah, and let's acquire some money so I can buy the Evening Star. Oh, I cannot afford it just yet, but that kind of speeds up the process. Well, normally I would have to wait forever to get one of those items, or an item as expensive as this. As it is right now, I think I might be able to get it like maybe by late lure. So yeah, we can probably go do lure and come back for that Evening Star. Which, since I don't have mana, I don't think it's gonna do anything. Like, it would make sense that Potions of Mana don't do anything, Guardian Spirit doesn't do anything, so by that logic, Anti-Magic also shouldn't do anything. Let's find out after I buy that. If it turns my HP into 1/3 of my HP, I might quit the game. I might not play 0.27 until that is fixed, but I highly doubt that will be the case. So yeah, let's go do Lure. Now that I have Fireball, Lure should be much more, much easier. To be completely honest, yeah, should be much easier, significantly easier. And yeah, we immediately encounter like a messed up monster that terrifies a Venom Mage in the form of a Cane Toad. Cane Toads are like fast, they hit very hard, and are poison resistant. So they check all the boxes for messed up monsters that a Venom Mage doesn't want to see. Excuse me? Yeah, I think that was my bad. Yeah, I accidentally aimed that poorly. Oh, ouch. I failed to take into account like how much HP I was gonna drain myself. Yeah, this seems kind of unsafe actually. Maybe don't do this at home. Yeah, and if you're gonna do it like responsibly. Don't let yourself be hit by the two Oclops at the same time. Oh, okay. We have to travel into a 7-headed Hydra. That is okay, I guess. Not much to do about that other than hope that I don't get destroyed by it. So yeah, we can go ahead and multi-sap the Hydra. Maybe one more time. Ouch. Okay, stop that. Oh, it got a free turn on me. Okay. Now I got a free turn on it. I'm very glad that I at least didn't die as a result of the Hydra getting a free turn on me. If I had planned, well, I guess I can still manage. Yeah, I can close the door on the Hydra. Oh, mint eyes. Thank you for the 2 months. I appreciate it. Good to see you around.
What?
Is it me or that alert was not too loud? I kind of rely on you because I don't really use a monitor. I would be too distracted by my own voice in like a negative way. I'm not that much of a narcissist. In fact, I wouldn't say that I'm a narcissist at all, but I would be too distracted by my own voice, and I don't really use a monitor, so I kind of rely on you to tell me like, does that sound okay? Is that too loud? Is that too quiet? Should I like increase the volume? And yeah, leaving that aside for the moment, thank you for the 2 months of support. I hope that I've been able to entertain you in some way, and yeah, I hope that you keep up the support because I appreciate it. It was a good level. Okay, good to know. When it comes to the acquirement, I had the option of getting a manual of shields or getting a tower shield of fire resistance, which normally I would get, but considering that these guys get 2 pips of fire resistance, I didn't really consider it that important. I decided to get the money because now we can go back to Orc 2 and get the Evening Star, the Anti-Magic Evening Star, which is probably gonna be like what I end up using for the rest of the game. It also happens to be, you feel magic leave you. How does that work? Okay. If it like does something crazy with my... No, it doesn't do anything to my HP. Okay, I'm very glad that it doesn't do anything to my HP. Oh, it gives me 9 mana, so I guess... No, it doesn't do anything. Funnily enough, 9 mana doesn't do anything for a Jhin. I guess I shouldn't really complain about that. But yeah, that weapon has a pip of cold resistance, so I'm not weak to cold anymore, and it's like an actually good weapon. +7 anti-magic Evening Star, very good thing to have, especially if you're not using your mana or if you don't have mana at all. I'm not really like too excited to use it, but I'm gonna carry it around because it's like a pretty good thing to have. What is that emote? Almistrasa. Oh, I see that this person also doesn't have the whole, the entirety of the emote slots that you can unlock as an affiliate. I might have to check out that stream, maybe even like raid and stuff if I have the opportunity of doing so. So, Mintais, have you played Genie already, or Jin, or whatever, however it's supposed to be pronounced? Have you played Jin? I have played Jin. I feel like it shouldn't really have Berserker recommended. I feel like it definitely shouldn't have Berserker recommended because Drog doesn't like it when you cast the spells, so you kind of throw away the part of Jin that makes Jin interesting. The fact that they get spells passively, and yeah, that is like a very feel bad. On the other hand, I feel like they should have Venom Mage recommended, but truly everything that wants to go Magic should have Venom Mage recommended because Venom Mage is that strong. Um, Yeehaw. Okay, let's handpick a soundtrack. What do we want to listen to right now? Oh, okay, I'm gonna go for Tohu 6. I don't think I've overplayed this one. I think this one should be okay. I tried on the test server, but the lag was terrible. It's on Kelby, and it used to have a game-breaking bug when you did this, or when you saved the game, or when you did most things. In fact, I encountered that as soon as I started the stream, but luckily it seems to be fixed now, and I have been playing without any issues or crashes or anything. Um, but yeah, with that being said, let's go back to Lure. Hmm. Okay, maybe. Okay, that should kill. Yeah, my plan was to sting into extremely poisoned, and it seemed to work correctly. Okay, affected by a cloud of flame. We can follow that up with fireball because I got fireball from leveling up. Yeah, Aster, just as a question, like merely out of curiosity and to like confirm a hypothesis of mine, do you watch on a mobile device or do you watch on a computer? Just out of sheer curiosity, because I see that I mentioned something and you kind of replied to that like a minute after I mentioned it. You're the Jin Gladiator of Ash died in Lair. Rip. Yeah, it's such a shame. Such a shame. But I like Jin. Like I like the idea of Jin mobile based. Yeah, I like the whole concept and idea of Jin. I feel like they should maybe get +1 HP. I feel like that's not really unreasonable for a species that doesn't have mana, needs to use spells for mana instead of only getting 4 extra HP. I mean, the 4 HP really do help for mage starts. I feel like that's actually what makes mage starts viable, because otherwise you would get absolutely dunked on by D1 monsters. Um, But yeah, I feel like they should get +1 HP instead of getting +4 HP. Um, well, you know what I meant. I mean that they should get +10% HP. So Healorc HP and Minotaur HP and Ghoul HP instead of getting like human HP. I guess at least we should be grateful that they don't get like Octopod HP or even worse. Or even worse, Deep Elf HP or Spriggan HP. Those would be pretty messed up. Unfortunately, it's not the case. We got Sonya. Sonya got absolutely wrecked. That's pretty easy, actually, but that's kind of what Venom Magi does to monsters um, that are not poison resistant. Yeah, you kind of just destroy them. Oh, sure. Thank you for letting me know, Aster. Like, I appreciate it. You didn't really have to reply, but I appreciated that you took the time to do so. Thank you so much for that. Okay. I feel like doing Lure after doing Orc as a Venom Mage greatly increases your survivability. Like, seriously increases your survivability. It gets you more spells, more experience, and more, like, power overall. Like, more HP too, because you get, like, to Lure at a higher experience level, which is kind of very important. Oh, don't worry about it. Yeah, don't worry about it. So yeah, those bees, I think I would have been able to deal with them, whether or not I had done Lure before Orc. But yeah, the rest of those things that appear in Lure, those are the things that worry me, like snakes and cane toads and black mambas in specific, because they're very fast and they hit very hard. Hydras are more an annoyance than an actual like threat for a Venom Mage. They are only a threat if they are directly next to you. If they are not next to you, it's not like not a big deal. You can just walk away from them and you should be okay. Okay, we killed Erika. Erika happened to have a Scimitar of Flaming, but I think I'm just gonna be training up that Evening Star at some point. Yeah, we should probably do that right now. No, instead of that, we're gonna train some 12 dodging. I have 22 dexterity. Might as well take advantage of it. You know, I kind of missed streaming yesterday. I mean, I did stream, but I just didn't stream in this channel. And it was like a wholly different experience than streaming here. I feel like I've already like done all that I needed to do with the stream to like set it up and have it be functional, and that was not the case for the stream that I made yesterday. In fact, it was like a huge annoyance and overall a very bad experience, and I don't think it will repeat, because the next time we do it, it will be much better. But yeah, it was a very bad experience in general. Yeah, I mean, I did get some positives out of it, but it was overall a bad experience. Oh yeah, you're never like terribly annoying or annoying at all. Like, it's okay. I just like to be able to like reply to things, and like when someone types something in chat, I like to immediately know what that person is talking about. And it's kind of complicated sometimes with the chat delay from like being on mobile and stuff. But it's not like if you cannot help it, then I would rather like deal with it than any alternative, to be completely honest. Oh wait! There's a portal bolt here. There's a gauntlet. I missed an ice cave in the previous level because I had no magic mapping. I don't want to miss the gauntlet because I feel like I'm strong enough to be able to beat it. And yeah, like I really want the loot that would come from a gauntlet. I feel like it's very important and very powerful loot. Okay, I think as far as the scrolls go, considering how I already have identified acquirement and blinking and teleport and pretty much the best things that I could possibly have for my character, I think the best thing to do is to not re-identify any more scrolls for the rest of the game. Can Jin use forms? That is something that I've been wondering about myself. I don't know because I don't have any. Oh wait, you can certainly use transmutations of spells at least because you have stink. But since you cannot learn spells off the floor, like off from books, I cannot like try to cast a statue form. So yeah, we don't know. At least I haven't looked up any spoilers for Jin, so I cannot really tell you. But if I eventually get a form spell, I guess that's how we're gonna know. Um, yeah, talking about spells that I would love to have with this character, for some reason I'm feeling like using Sticky Flame tonight. Maybe it's because I started a fire elementalist, and here we can see how a black mamba is like actually a pretty huge threat for a venom mage, even so late into the game. Like after doing orc, it's still like bad. Well, I guess the Gastronox support had something to do with that. Um, Okay, yeah, I'm using willpower. That's why the basilisk didn't petrify me. 5% of petrify. Mm, yeah, I've encountered myself in situations with melee poison resistant monsters where I'm like, I wish I had something to deal with these guys, like irradiate or sticky flame or something. The current solutions that I have, Searing Ray probably doesn't deal enough damage anymore. Fireball doesn't really do the trick if I am within melee range. Even with 2 pips of fire resistance, I still don't want to be fireballing myself. That doesn't sound like the safest thing to do. Okay, you know what? I heard that it was nearby when I was over here, so I should probably like try to go that way to try. Okay, that was a pretty easy kill on Gastronok, and we got a hat of willpower. That's a huge upgrade over the helmet that I had, and now that actually like lets me go back to using the Ring of Evasion that I had for more survivability without like risking getting hexed. A distant drum and thunderous beating. I might miss it. I hope that I don't, but I might miss it. I just don't know what it is, and since I don't have magic mapping. Yeah, there's no magic mapping this game. Truly unfortunate. Very distant. Okay, so I'm kind of like walking away from it. Okay, so if down here it was distant and up here it was very distant, that means that the portal is right here. Okay, it was just outside my line of sight when I went downstairs. Okay, I'm very glad that I didn't miss it, because that was like a possibility, a very likely possibility actually. I guess these guys cannot stop flying anymore. Oh, now that there's no real downside to flying, I guess why would you be able to do that? Okay, let's do the usual, just do this and try to get the most alluring thing, which is probably the shiny cloak. Yeah, I'm not expecting it to be like crazy good or anything, but it's probably better than that random scroll that I know it's not acquirement, or that potion that I know it's not experience, or those globes that, I mean, I already have globes of dexterity. I think those are probably good enough, but the cloak, I have a +0 cloak or something, so I think the greatest upgrade that I can get from here is getting that cloak. Now, to see what I would have to fight against, a Nekosek, that is obviously poison resistant, a Chaos spawn that is not poison resistant, surprisingly enough, and that's it. I might be able to deal with these guys, and it shouldn't really be an issue. Okay, you know, I think we can do a good old Meph Ignite Poison, follow that up with some Fireball to deal damage to the Nekosek. That went pretty well. I feel like that was pretty easy, and we got a Cloak of Preservation as a reward for that. That was very good. By the way, we have this Scroll of Acquirement. It's like not really good. Nothing here appeals to me. Yeah, really nothing. Nothing is like, wow, I need that. Even the gold is bad. It's such a shame because the previous acquirement had like 3 options that I wanted. This one has 0 options that I want. I think I'm just gonna get the gold, but I'm probably gonna carry it around in case I need any of these things that are being offered to me or these properties in the future. But I'm probably not going to need any of them. But you never know. It's just like best to play around that and have it available as an option in case it's necessary. So abominations, they can be kind of annoying. I think they're all poison resistant. Oh, they're immune to poison rather. Well, it just so happens that I can fly over the lava, so these shouldn't really be that much of an issue. Yeah, is there even any loot here? There's a giant spike glove and a pink potion that I know it's not like experience. I think we can just like leave. I think it's the easiest way for me to deal with this. However, there could be an issue here if I enter the teleporter and I bring the large abomination with me. That could be bad. But let's see what happens. Okay, brought a small abomination. So what I'm gonna do is like lightning bolt it. Yeah, there we go. I feel like that went quite well. Didn't want anything from there anyway. Let me drop that ring. Scroll of identify I do want, and what is supposed to be in here? Is that like an orange crystal statue or something? Oh, an obsidian statue. Okay, I find it kind of funny. Why? Oh, did it? What? Okay, that's kind of funny. What happened there, I think, I'm not sure, was that I entered the transporter and I did pull the large abomination with me, but since there was like no place for it to land outside of the vault, it kind of landed outside. I had never seen that before. That's kind of cute. So, how am I going to get past this thing? I think it's immune to fire and poison. Very resistant to fire and cold and resistant to electricity. Yeah, I don't really see a way for me to deal with it. Unfortunately, I don't have like LRD or something. I wonder if you get less spells if you start with a book background. You probably do. I have acid and I have condenser bane. I think like 3 charges of acid should be more than enough to deal with that obsidian statue. Yeah, 3 charges of acid gotta be enough because it cannot dodge. 3 charges of acid. Okay, and it's time for the Minotaur. Now, the Minotaur could be messed up. Yeah, the Minotaur could be bad. I hope it doesn't have poison resistance. Yeah, let's just try to severely poison the Minotaur. Okay, perfect, and now we have to deal with the zombie. The zombie doesn't really worry me as much as a regular thing. It hits for more damage, but it doesn't have a weapon. If it had a weapon, it would be super dangerous. But yeah, we can just like multi-zap it with lightning bolt, and that turns out to be a very easy kill. And we get a scale mail of fire resistance. I think I didn't have an amulet. Yeah, and this amulet of regeneration is like excellent. I guess it, yeah. Okay, now look at that HP regen, and we consider that when we consider that my HP regen is also my mana regen, that's like very, very good. Now, if I had more spells, I mean the spells that I have currently are okay, but I would like to get more spells. Probably should carry those in case I need to use them because they're reasonably rare. Yeah, might as well like not remove any options from the game. Probably should drop the wand of flame and the scroll of enchant weapon. Um, yeah, that's it. Oh, I got swamp. Well, that's an issue. I didn't want swamp. I hope that I get spider because a spider really is like the greatest thing to see as a poison magic user. Oh, I guess I got fireball. Getting fireball is actually okay. Excuse me. Okay, so here's what happens. I was not standing on a shaft or anything. When I destroyed that tree with fireball, the tree revealed a tile that activated a shaft trap because that's kind of how exploration-based traps work in this game, even though it doesn't really make a lot of sense. But that's how they work, and that's why I got shafted there, apparently nowhere. Yep, I don't think exploration traps are a good mechanic. I've never thought of that, or never thought that, but yeah, that's how they work. I don't know. It's like going downstairs and immediately getting teleported. That's one of the things that I like the least in this game. I guess it could be worse. At least it doesn't immediately kill you if it happens late enough. If it happens early enough, it can definitely instantly kill you. But at least the times that it has happened to me, it hasn't instantly killed me. So at least there is that. Okay, I'm fighting the impulse to get in there, in that little closet. That was like a really bad idea, by the way, and I'm very glad that I ended up not doing it. Okay, Fate can go to the dumpster. I think regeneration has to be like amazing for these guys, especially if you're casting spells, because you get back your mana and your HP and everything so much faster. It's kind of funny, but I think these guys are like another version of Binestalker. When I saw the Jin learn database entry, because Jin, that's not the first time that Jin have tried to be implemented into the game. I think the first time they didn't have the whole you learn spells naturally thing. I think that's kind of new. But they did have the thing where mana and HP were merged. And I thought to myself, well, it kind of makes sense that they didn't get in because of Binestalkers, even if Binestalkers were introduced into the game later. I just thought maybe Binestalkers are the refined version of Jin. Okay, we got a volcano, we got the hardest ending of Lure, and unfortunately we got Spider and, or rather Snake and Swamp, which are the ones that I didn't want to get. I wanted to get Shoals and Spider, and I got the opposite. Truly unfortunate, but even with that, I think this character can still do something. Probably not Snake, rather, because everything is poison resistant. But Swamp shouldn't be terribly hard, considering how I have fire resistance, poison resistance, resistance to electricity, even corrosion resistance for those Goliath frogs. The only thing that I would be lacking would be cold resistance. Maybe I can get that off of something later on. We shall see. For now, I would be interested in like not missing this volcano. Okay, I wonder how much spell power I guess 47 for Toxic Radiance, and 23% for something for something that has a bit more spell power, maximum. Okay, more intelligence. Statue form. Well, I guess that resolves our doubts. Jin can cast forms, but it's kind of hard for them to get them. That is pretty good. I like that. Yeah, win game. So now, with statue form, I don't have to worry about. I guess I didn't really have to worry about resistance to electricity because I already have it. I actually got it super early into the game. But I guess I can now like walk around without draining any armor or something. Who knows? Who knows if I use that or not? But it's at least now we know that I can like. Oh, that was not. Yeah. Yeah, my spells are kind of messed up because normally I have normally I forget Osokubu's armor by the time I get statue form. It very rarely happens that I have both of them at the same time. You miscast the statue form. Okay, now I have it. And now I have good defenses. And the best part about it is that I can cast it with only 9 spellcasting and nothing more and nothing less than 9 spellcasting. I like Jin. I do have a little complaint, and that would be that they cannot get spells from Behemoth. I feel like they should be able to get spells from Behemoth. But leaving that aside, like I like them. I like Jin. Jin are pretty sweet. Specific key bindings for their usual spells. I mean I go to my RC file and make them so that some of them are like always in the same letter, but as far as macros go, I very rarely do macros for my spells. I do have one for a port in the number 1. The number 1 is Sap Q Fire. But I don't really have a port just yet, and I will probably never get it because of the nature of the Jin. So I won't be able to showcase it this run. F1 to F5. Can you do that? Oh, you can F1. You can macro on F keys. Okay, that's good to know. I might use that in the future. I've never macroed anything to an F key, but now that I know, I'm gonna probably take advantage of that in the near future. Yeah, I used to macro things to numbers 1 through 9 because I use B keys, so they never really conflicted. But now that I know that I can macro things to F. Oh, you can definitely do that, Mintais. That's what I do. In fact, funny enough that you comment on it because that's exactly what I do. Let's see what we can do against this Black Mamba. I mean, I could fireball myself. I don't know if I should. Okay, that's perfect. Yeah, that's actually excellent. Pretty good. Pretty good. Now we are gonna fireball ourselves. Doesn't really deal that much damage, thanks to my fire resistance from being a Jin. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. Okay, this is kind of looking like a statue form moment. I just realized that statue form's extra HP means that I have more functional mana. Wow, it's even better than usual with the Jin. That's so good. Oh man, I'm having a good time with these Jins. F1 drop experience potions. Okay, that's sick. F1 to drop the experience potion. How many times have you like accidentally pressed F1 in a normal run and dropped your potions of experience? Like I mean, in a run that still hasn't gotten to the power point or to the power level that you would require to start Mega Zigging. Has that even happened to you before? Okay. Yeah, I'm having a good time with these guys. Um, I mean, I had a rough couple of first games, but once I started trying like spellcasters, they got so much better. I still wish I had like Sticky Flame or Irradiate for all the monsters that are poison resistant. You hear the slow rumble of a distant avalanche of rocks. Probably should stop using fireballs so I keep so I stop attracting monsters and I would be able to reach that. Um, so with statue form and 23 evasion, we should be okay against this Hydra. How much imbo do you need on this? I would say that as much as you need to have like shadow form available as a last ditch resource. In an ideal game, you use a statue or shadow form exactly 0 times, but you may want to have it in case like things go downhill. And you need to use it early enough because if you take your sweet time with it, you might not get a lot of use out of it. But it's a pretty good defensive, option, I would say. Your F1 is physically far from your other keys, so that hasn't happened yet. I guess it makes sense. You kind of have to like stretch your finger to hit F1. Anyway, how do we kill this Hydra? Maybe paralysis and we melee it? 43. Yeah, it didn't really happen. We don't really take a lot of damage. We take 0 damage. Didn't really happen. We take very little damage. We paralyze it, and now I'm gonna tab it with 0 skill Evening Star. And it kind of does get me the kill. No biggie. The joys of statue form. It arrived just in time to save my character from the Hydras. Oh, I like this Menos, even if you're not gonna be taking advantage of the extra stealth from the Umbra. Like I feel like this Menos has a lot of power, even if you completely disregard that, which I do. Like you have never really seen me train in stealth. It only happens when I'm trying to like staff things, which is very rare for me to do or to even attempt. I'm not afraid of you guys, but I am kind of wondering how am I supposed to kill you. I guess everything except for the Hellhound is vulnerable to poison, so we can go ahead and do that. Oh, but they are like definitely not. They're definitely immune to fire, so let's not ignite poison against them. Faded Altar moment. Yeah, I started a character earlier today. We got a troll of some. I went Faded Altar and I got some, and I just didn't want to reclass. And I kind of parked that character because it was made it was made known to me, that's the proper way to say it in English, that Jin were actually functional now, because when I started the stream they were not really functional. So I obviously parked that character, and now we are playing Jin, and it's been okay. Yeah, it's been just fine. I'm liking the experience. I have some I don't really want to say complaints, but things about the design that don't really resonate with me and that I would prefer to see changed. But it's okay. Like, it doesn't really need to be changed or anything. I feel like it would be fine if it released as it is, without a lot of change. But I would appreciate some changes. That's all I'm saying. Okay, a lot of armor. Oh, Fustivalus of Flaming. Let me pick that up. That's a pretty good thing to have. And from here, I'm probably wanna pick up the Plate of Fire Resistance. I think it's very unlikely that I cast in Plate, but I might want to give that a try. This volcano was kind of underwhelming. I feel like it does have some good loot, but it's just loot that it doesn't appeal to my current character. Like, I would be very happy to have a Fustiva Luz of Flaming on most characters. Probably not this one. And same goes for the Plate of Fire. Okie dokie. A Phantom Mirror. That's pretty sweet. I didn't have a Phantom Mirror, and it will come useful when I encounter dangers in X, which will happen relatively soon as we are about to enter the mid game. For me, the mid game starts when you enter your first rune branch and ends when you get your third rune, and everything after the third rune is like late game. That's how I classify it. I haven't really seen other people define early game and mid game and late game, but there's a lot of people use those terms, but no one has really defined them, and that's my definition of them. So if you like listen to me saying, "Oh yeah, we are in the early game" or something, you know what I mean. I probably should make a little glossary of terms that I commonly use. Even though I don't really think that a lot of new players watch me, I have encountered new players that have come in the chat and been like, "Oh yeah, I watched your stream and I just started playing Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup." It happens. Doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen. So I would like to make that little piece of documentation for those new players. The more experienced players probably don't really care too much about my definitions of early game and that kind of stuff. Here you are going to see something funny. I'm petrifying, right? And you would think that turning into a statue and being proactive gets rid of the petrification, but it doesn't. Yep, you can be turned to stone as a statue, and you're unable to move, even if you're a statue. Okay, we got a box of beasts. Okay, not complaining. We got pretty decent loot from that. Okay, this character feels pretty strong. I don't know if it has anything, if it's like anything related to the fact that I'm a genie, or that I'm a djinn. I don't really know how to pronounce it. I'm gonna have to look it up. But it feels strong. It really does feel quite good. Oh, that's right. I got shafted 2 floors. I completely forgot about that. Wait. Something makes me think that that is a mimic, because I already got Stirs to Snake before. Weird. It is probably a mimic. So yeah, I guess this is a preview of what it's gonna be like to fight these things. Did they get their damage buffed? Did they always do so much damage? I don't know. Okay, Searing Ray kinda works to deal with them because they don't really have that much HP, but I am kind of afraid of Naga Warriors because Naga Warriors do have a lot of HP, so that Searing Ray trick will not work on them. Oh, of course, enjoy your lunch, Mintais. I hope you have a tasty meal. Yeah, which reminds me, yesterday when I was doing the other project that I have with a couple of friends, we went out and had some burgers in like our lunch break, and those burgers were really good. Like, They were surprisingly good for how cheap they were. Um, yeah, it's not like a burger chain or anything. It's like a small restaurant. Um, but they were like legit pretty good. I was surprised. The next time I go visit that guy, I'm gonna have some of those burgers. In fact, I might even have a burger tomorrow because that's how good they were. I want more. I mean, it won't be from the same place, but there's a pretty good burger place, like a couple of blocks away from my home. So yeah, at least I have access to that. Um, Okay, so salamanders are also one of those monsters that are poison or not resistant to poison, but are immune to fire. So we need to like kite around the salamander until it dies from poison. We cannot really be proactive and ignite poison the salamander, unfortunately, which might get annoying in Spider. Or in Snake rather, but everything in Snake is annoying for a character like this, a Venom Mage. Yeah, not much that we can really do about that. Okay. It kind of feels like I haven't gotten a spell in a very long time. It might be related to the fact that my last spell was a statue form, and I didn't really need statue form. And I haven't really been using it a lot because of that. But I need to keep in mind that I have statue form, and that I have it castable. That's also kind of important. Okay, let's continue with the dungeon. Okay, that's Azrael's band. That's like 100% Azrael's band. This would be a very convenient time to get refrigeration. And I feel with a normal character, if I had found a book with refrigeration already, I would have it castable. But it's not the case. So Azrael's band is like comprised entirely of monsters that are immune to fire, or immune to fire and poison. Well, I mean, for practical purposes, it is immune to poison, even if it says poison resistant, because I'm not gonna take my sweet time to sting it to death. So yeah, Azrael might turn out to be a complicated fight for my character. Let's try it with Condenser Bane. We get negative energy. I don't think these guys care. I don't think these guys care. I don't think Azrael cares. Yeah, Azrael really doesn't care, so it's like a huge dot. We're gonna have to retreat. And now, how are we going to deal with these guys? Probably just like Statue Form and Taff. With Statue Form I had such good defenses that even if I don't have training with the Evening Star, it's still a +7 Evening Star, and I'm in Statue Form. It kinda kills things quite well. Okay, so when it comes to Azrael, the next time I encounter him, I am gonna have to use my wand of Ice Blast. I think that's like the perfect way to deal with with Azrael. Yeah, 2.2 delay and still taff taff taff, because it's like not dangerous monsters. I wouldn't really attempt to do it against that Vampire Mage. If I feel like if I try to do that against that Vampire Mage, I would die like very fast. So yeah, for that guy, I think it would be a good idea maybe to Searing Ray. I don't know. Statue Form is just so strong. Yeah, I mean, it is a pretty strong thing to have. it's also like a double-edged sword because you can get destroyed by the fact that you cannot walk away from things and stuff. But overall, like the huge defenses that you get are pretty good and probably offset most, if not the entirety of the bad things about statue form. Wow, I even retain the 2 pips of fire resistance in statue form. That's how good it is. It's really a great thing to have. So yeah, this Vampire Mage is definitely a problem because this character lacks the tools to deal with a monster that is within melee range that also happens to be immune to poison and also happens to be threatening in melee. Is that a mod, the one that shows how much damage you take? It's not really a mod, it is a script. So Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup is a very weird game where if you know how to code, you can code yourself something. And I didn't make this. By no means I'm good enough at coding to make something like that. That was made by a player called HDA, or Hilarious Death Artist, and I have like the code in my RC file. Let me get you the RC file. Yeah, give me just a second. That is from Akrasiak. Yeah, give me a couple more minutes. It's gonna take a bit longer than usual. Let's see. Okay, that's 0.26. This is 0.27. Okay, so this is my RC file. This is my RC file. As you can see, like the name and the name of the RC file that I sent don't really check out. But in the RC file in this account, I have a line of text that just adds the entirety of that RC file into my RC file, so I don't have to copy it line by line. It's like very convenient. If you're not interested in just adding the entirety of it, and you're only interested in like the damage calculator, you need the final part of the RC file. Yeah, it's very clearly labeled damage calc. It even says, ask Hilarious Dead Artist to fix things. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I feel like I personally have had it be like super useful for me. Very, very good. Okay, why am I even thinking so much about how am I going to deal with that Vampire Mage? I should use this. Yep. Yep, that went pretty well. Oh, a Guardian Mummy. Interesting. D15 Guardian Mummy. Normally that would be kind of dangerous. I don't think this character is particularly afraid of one of those. I can just fireball it to death, and it's like weak to fire? No, it's not weak to fire anymore. I was pretty sure that it was. Anyway, easy kill. That is much less threatening than a Vampire Mage for sure. Ouch. Okay, I wonder if I can beat it. Oh, well, I was kind of losing for a moment there, but I ended up winning the fight. So I think my plan should be for the rest of the game to walk around in Genie form, go into statue form if I need to melee things, but just leaving that aside, just being in Genie form, because in Genie form I have the Troll Leather armor, and funnily enough, I've encountered that some of my statue form characters, for not to say like most of them, end up winning the game in Troll Leather because outside of statue form, I regenerate faster and I can switch into statue form for defenses, which is pretty good. Yeah, like 0 attack, 0 skill Evening Star, statue form has been doing some wonders for this character, and it doesn't feel quite right. Alrighty, but yeah, all jokes aside, I think as soon as I hit 12 spell casting, we are probably going to be training some of that weapon skill, because I really could use staff for the monsters that I'm having issues with. Staff actually happens to be like the perfect response for most of those monsters. Oh yeah, you're seeing a monster that is like immune to poison and is within melee range of you, and also happens to be a spellcaster. Well, fear no more, because you can just like dab it with your anti-magic evening star and absolutely destroy it. But I cannot quite do that just yet, and I will be attempting to do that very soon, but not immediately. Okay, these don't worry me because they are red, and I have 2 pips of fire resistance. Now, if they were white, I would be terrified of these. But red ugly things are very easy to deal with. Um, yeah, I wish I had Irradiate. I feel like Irradiate would fix a lot of the issues with my character. Melee also would, but I feel like Irradiate would be much more easy to get than Melee. Alrighty. A Wraith. Okay, we can tap it down. Doesn't have that much HP. Has like 40 HP or so. So a good hit or 2 with my Evening Star was more than enough to deal with that Wraith. Okie dokie. We are going to be training some maces. We're going to be getting 16 maces actually. I hope that my manual of maces really helps me with that. It's probably gonna like make the whole process of getting the Evening Star into a state where it's actually usable and not a bad meme much faster. 13 heal wounds. Yeah, something makes me think that is not happening. I don't know why, but I have this suspicion that I'm not gonna be making it to 13 potions of heal wounds. I don't know why, you know? I have no idea. Yeah, I feel like Jin is pretty interesting. How like it turns potions of heal wounds into potions of mana. It's kind of the opposite of the Binestalker in a sense. Like they're similar, but they're also kind of different. Binestalkers can use potions of mana as potions of heal wounds. These guys can use potions of heal wounds as potions of mana, and both of them cannot use the other kind of potion. So I don't know. I just thought that was mildly interesting. Also, shoutouts to those whites and their weapons. +4 battle axe, +4 spear. Pretty decent weapons they got this time. Okay, that's depth. We are not gonna be going in there. So now I have to make a decision. My decision is not doing spider or not doing snake rather. We're gonna be doing swamp, unfortunately. I wonder if I can get away with doing elf. I mean, I have 2 pips of fire resistance, I have statue form, I have resistance to electricity. We should be okay. Like, what hits me with cold damage in elf? Let's give it a try. Okay, this is kind of crazy and it might end up in like a really bad death and I might end up regretting it, but let's give it a try. Let's see how elf goes with this character. Yeah, I wouldn't do it with most other characters. I'm only even considering it because I'm a Venom Mage and Toxic Radiance destroys elf. It destroys many places. It even like does work in Sod because Draconians, apart from the green ones and the ones that happen to generate with some source of poison resistance, are weak to Toxic Radiance, and it actually deals like so much damage in conjunction with Ignite Poison. It deals like crazy high amounts of damage that probably no spell should have any business doing. At least no early game spell. But yeah, I really recommend Venom Mage to everyone, and like every species that has like -1 or better in their spell schools should probably consider Venom Mage for an easy and fast game. Well, it's not really fast, but it's not like doesn't have as much decision making as usual spellcasters do because their starting book is so strong. So yeah. You know what? Maybe I want that Ring of Elitism now that I think about it. Yeah, it gives me 2 pips of resistance to negative energy, so that removes like... oh, that is not the ring that I want to take off. I want to take off the Ring of Evasion. Yeah, it removes like random threats from Death Magi in Elf. Okay, I'm carrying the Ring of Ice. Probably should drop it. There was an Ice Cave, but I kind of missed it because I didn't have magic mapping. Gold. Yeah, gold. From those 4 options, gold. Maybe at some point in the game I would have considered like maybe the Staff of Earth, but no, we kind of don't need the Staff of Earth because I'm gonna use the Evening Star for the rest of the game. It's very unlikely that I found an upgrade, and I'm only saying that because apparently when I say it's very unlikely that I find an upgrade, I immediately find an upgrade like literally the next floor, so maybe this time it also happens and I find an upgrade to this Evening Star the next floor. Hopefully an Evening Star of Speed or something. I would appreciate that. But realistically, there's no way I find something better than this Evening Star. It's even a relevant brand in SOT, because hitting a Orb of Fire with an anti-magic Evening Star is like good. It prevents it from casting spells for a while. And it also deals a lot of damage because at the end of the day it is an anti-magic Evening Star, or rather it is an Evening Star base damage of 15. It's the same base damage as that of a glaive or a battle axe. It's just that it's a single target weapon that doesn't really do anything special, but it is a one-handed weapon, and it is so good that I was able to use it against Azrael. So yeah, that went quite well for me. Oh, Francis, the unique that should be reworked into something actually threatening. That unique that should get a Pandemonium Lord floor instead of what she currently is. Oh, okay, she hit me kinda hard. Wow, okay. I guess she does have a lot of HP, so I guess there's that. So yeah, I was kind of expecting her to die from that alone, but I guess I had to do it 2 times in a row. Okay, yeah, for a unique that supposedly killed the Pandemonium Lord, Francis is really weak, and maybe if it was like a very weak Summon Butterflies Pandemonium Lord, I can kind of buy it, but that's like nothing to brag about. You shouldn't really brag about, oh yeah, I killed a mighty Lord of the Pandemonium with Throw Icicle and Summon Demon. Like, come on, that is not gonna fly. You're not gonna make it past the random demon spawn that generate in the Pandemonium Lord's floor. Like, come on. In fact, like, Francis is a very big motivation for me to learn how to code. Not even exaggerating. Like, I would probably learn how to code only to fix Francis. Nope, that was my bad. I didn't want to aim it there. But fortunately, strong enough to just tap down the Fire Dragon, and resistant enough too, because it's not enough to be able to hold down tab against the Fire Dragon. It's also kind of important to not die in return. Okay, I think once I finish training my Evening Star, I'm probably gonna go back and train for a Kite Shield. There's a Kite Shield on the floor, and I'm using a Buckler, so it's like a reasonable upgrade. 8% paralyzed, we can kind of deal with that. Maybe not. Maybe we cannot deal with that. Maybe it's gonna hit me for 56. Okay, maybe we are gonna read Holy Wars. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna kill it. I think it's like at full HP. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way we heal it with Holy Word. It would be just a waste of an item. Okay, scary, scary situation there. Oh, D13 Vampire Knights and Stone Giants. This is obviously a very nasty boss. I mean, I think I'm barely able to do it, but it's definitely something that if I had gone from D12 to D13 before doing Orc or Lure, I would have been absolutely demolished by this vault if I had not immediately realized that I shouldn't be here. Yeah, those kind of bolts are there to teach new players. Hey, you cannot kill anything, or you cannot kill everything. To be more precise, the game is not designed around you being able to kill everything as soon as you encounter it. Sometimes you actually have to think to progress through the game, and there's a lot of people that just straight up don't realize that ever. I was watching a player earlier today that encountered a worm and held down tab against the D2 worm. It was a worm on D2, and obviously that character ended up dying. But yeah, that's just like an indicator of a player that is not like really paying attention to the game, or like probably doesn't really care too much about winning the game. If you die against a worm, that's like a pinpoint indicator of you're kind of doing something terribly wrong here. Yeah, I mean, I kind of like that. I just don't like it when it feels like I'm skipping literally every floor. When it gets to that point, I kind of wanna quit the character, and it has happened to me before, most noticeably when playing demigods before they were buffed. Now that they are buffed, there shouldn't really be any issues dealing with early game as a demigod. I feel like now they're so good. Okay. Okay. Wow, that guy had a +3 Bardiche, so it wasn't enough that it was a high level undeath that can reliably one-shot a character without willpower. It also had a top tier weapon for a monster. Wow, like monsters with big weapons are much more scary now. Ignacio is probably much stronger. It's very easy to edit uniques like that. You can go in and edit their spellbook, attacks, equipment, even spawn rates and locations. Don't really need coding knowledge since it's all kind of readable, like English sort of. Imagine +3 Bardiche attacking every turn. Yeah, that's like not good. That's messed up. Imagine leave that aside for the moment. Imagine getting paralyzed and then having that monster with a +3 Bardiche attack you every turn while you are paralyzed. That's bad. That's messed up. Yeah, it is what it is. Monsters with paralyze and Bardiches attacking you every turn. And on D13, that's the worst part of it. It spawned on D13. It like guarantees to paralyze you if it attempts to do so, because at this point you have like no willpower. Luckily, I got shafted. For once, getting shafted was good because I avoided all of that bolt, which was obviously a pretty messed up bolt and didn't really even have like good loot for me. Yeah, now that we've done the entirety of the dungeon, I am gonna go do Elf. I feel very confident about Elf if we survive a D13 Vampire Knight and Stone Giant. I don't think Elf has anything to deal with me. I don't think I'm even gonna need to go into statue form to deal with most of these guys. Yeah, because I have the most important resistances, which are fire resistance from being a Djinn, and resistance to electricity from the amazing ring that I found very early into the game. So yeah, it's feeling very good. It's feeling very good. Okay, that's convenient. Yeah, whenever I encounter something that's like straight up immune to fire and everything, I'm gonna Gonna go into statue form and I'm gonna hold down Taff pretty much. But against most of these ops, they kinda die if I use either poisonous vapors or or toxic radiance and ignite poison. Yeah, one of those two spells and ignite poison, and they end up dying. Is that like this game? We found so much acquirement. It actually blows my mind how much acquirement we've already encountered. Okay. 8% banishment is fine. I don't particularly feel threatened by that. Oh, okay, I got tormented for 27. Woohoo! That's like irrelevant. I'm kind of surprised that the Ice Fiend decided to torment. I think they don't really respect their summoners. Normally I would be rejoiced to find an amulet like that. Since I already have 2 pips of fire resistance, we can kinda just ignore it. A Demon Whip, I think we can also leave behind. The staff doesn't really matter to me because I have a melee weapon, so I guess it is the gold. Or I guess I can hold on to it in case I need a source of the 3rd pip of fire resistance, even though I think that's very unlikely. In fact, it's like almost impossible for me to need that because I have already 3 pips of fire resistance. Orcs. Those don't really generate that often in here. I mean, they generate, obviously, but they kinda don't generate that frequently. And more often than not, they are an indicator of Saint Roca, but it's not like always the case. Sometimes they just generate like that. Okie dokie. What do you have, Mr. Annihilator? Oh, you don't have cold damage spells. Good to know about that, because those are kinda dangerous. Oh, that's 3 dancing weapons. Yeah, that's kind of messed up. Especially when all 3 of them are like pole arms. Ah, that's nasty. I wonder if I can change the glyph of the dancing weapon. It's like too easy for them to blend in. Okay, my glyph is pretty good for Oh, you have a kite shield of reflection. That's a pretty nice upgrade. My glyph is pretty good for a Jin. I like it. What was the other god that someone recommended? I really don't remember. But people were like, Maclev is good and something else is good, and I don't remember what's the other thing. Okay, I am very close to getting minimum delay on the Evening Star. And at that point, like, I am actually going to be a melee character. Oh, the Shining One. Yeah, I think it was Aster. Oh. Yeah, I think it was Aster who recommended. Who recommended the Shining One? But yeah, Maclev and the Shining One kind of makes sense. The Shining One a bit less so, because you don't get HP from everything. Hello, Mintais. How was your lunch? I hope you had a good lunch. And yeah, as you can see, the character is still alive and well, doing Elf before doing Alert Branch. Yeah, I finally started training my Evening Star, and it's doing quite well. Yeah, Elf before Lure Branch, and we also got a D13 Vampire Knight and Stone Giant in a very nasty vault, but I got shafted past it, so I didn't even notice it until after I had cleared the 15 already. It's not even the first time that happens to me. There was one time where I got a D13 or D14 Iron Dragon. Like it was a legit Iron Dragon, not a shapeshifter or anything crazy. It was an actual Iron Dragon, and it was miserable. Yeah, I had to avoid that level for so long. And the funny part about that is that I didn't even realize that the level had an Iron Dragon for a long period of time. Like I saw enough High Priest in that D13, and I was like, nah, I cannot do this, and I left. Later on, I came back to that level and I killed the High Priest. And I was like, okay, we should be clear now. And I encountered the Iron Dragon. I was like, oh, okay, we're not clear. We're coming back later. Oh, blinking. Okay, those are always a buy on site. Yeah, I'm kind of glad that I got statue for him in my first successful or relatively successful Jin. Okay, Mr. Elementalist, it would be a shame for you if you were extremely vulnerable to that. Am I done with the rest of the level? I guess I am. I knew there was something funny with the soundtrack. I think I should probably remove this one from my playlist because I don't like it as much as a previous one. Yeah, we're gonna remove that one from the playlist. And we are gonna skip to the next one. Okay, we can deal with FTL. I like FTL's soundtrack. I've never played it before, but I like it. Okay, we probably should get some intelligence to go alongside my spells. And yeah, we're still waiting for another spell to be obtained via level up. Last one that I got was a statue form, what feels like an eternity ago. I guess it feels like an eternity ago because at the start of the game I was getting spells like literally every 2 floors or so. Um, because I level up so fast during the early game. But now that we got past the early game and it's taking a bit longer than before to level up, well, I'm not getting a lot of spells. I wish I was able to kill the summoner of these guys. Unfortunately, I don't think I have line of sight for that, so I'm gonna have to deal with them the good old way. By the way, the Blizzard Demon was relatively dangerous there because I don't have cold resistance. That's like the only resistance that I am missing. Um, but leaving that aside, like I felt reasonably safe. I was kind of expecting the Blade Masters to drown, not gonna lie. Oh, one of them did. Alrighty, time to go back to shields. For a kite shield. Okie dokie. There's already a cloud there, so let's refresh Toxic Radiance. I guess Jin don't really have to worry about running out of mana. I mean, you kind of do have to worry about running out of resources, obviously, because if you run out of resources, you're dead. But you don't. You're not in that situation where you're like at full HP, 0 mana, and you need to either leave or die, which is very comfy. Maklev is amazing for Jin, but Maklev is amazing for everything, so it's kind of cheating. It's just that Maklev happens to be extra amazing for Jin, even more amazing than usual. Probably is the correct way to put it. Alrighty. I hope that the Blade Master that drowned wasn't carrying anything too important. Yeah, that Amulet of Mana regen is like really useless. We're gonna drop it. Oh, that's a pretty good flail. That's a decent Morning Star. And a Kite Shield of Protection might come useful. 8% banishment, something that we have to keep in mind in case I get banished. And just as I was saying that, that guy tried to banish me twice. Not this time. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that happens to me that I get banished at an extremely low chance of getting banished. It wouldn't even be the second time that happens. But fortunately, it didn't happen today. Not today. So yeah, something that I recently noticed, and by recently I mean like probably a month ago, is that the game always gives you a longbow. Like if you have not gotten a longbow in your game, you can probably just go pick one up in Elf. Just kill a Master Archer, because Master Archers are guaranteed to, well, not really guaranteed, but almost guaranteed to spawn here. But when they do spawn, they always get um, a longbow. Oh, give me that. Yeah, why do you not auto pick up Tins of Tremor Stones? I should probably start picking them up automatically. I'm gonna go back to my RC file and do that. Um, okay, we finally found magic mapping after missing all the portal bolts except for maybe the Whiz Lab. Um, so I guess Elf was easy. Like, not gonna lie, I didn't really feel threatened at any point of this. I have to attribute it to the fact that I just gained back so much resource with Maclef. Maybe the next time I do this, I have to do it with a different god. I hope that Behumet, or rather Jin, gets reworked in a way that they can actually take advantage of what Behumet offers. Um, which is like the spells and the resource regeneration. I think the original implementation of Jin didn't have health or magic. They had something like essence, and they got affected by heal wounds and regen and mana regen, if that was a thing when they were first implemented, which I'm not too sure about. And potions of mana. Does Sif Muna not give spells? Sif Muna gives you books, and let me show you what happens when one of these guys picks up a book. The random priceless artifact book burns to shimmering ash in your grasp, so you cannot learn like that. You need no library to learn spells, because you get spells naturally, not from books. It's kind of a shame because that makes it so that Behumet doesn't work with these guys. And if you start with a book start, you start with all the spells already learned. You cannot really cast them for more than one reason. Like if you somehow get to learn it normally in a game, like if you learn Toxic Radiance, for example, and you're experience level 3, the game doesn't let you cast it because you're experience level 3. It's just like a nice little funny thing. Um, as a Jin, it may come into play that you're like experience level 3 and you want to cast a level 4 spell. That has happened. That happened to me with the Fire Elementalist because it had Sticky Flame, but it wasn't able to cast it. It was kind of annoying, but it was not really that big of a deal. But anyway, as a book start, you get all the spells already memorized, so it's fine. And you get more spells as you level up. Eventually, I assume that I will be getting like some very high level spells. As I mentioned before, this is like my first run with a relatively successful Jin. I had a couple of other runs before this one on stream. I don't really play Crawl off stream to avoid burnout, and they ended pretty fast. Like, I was trying Melee Jin, and I came to the conclusion that Melee kind of sucks in this version because of the buffs to monster attack delay when they have weapons. I would recommend against playing a spellcaster, and I would recommend against playing a melee character, and I would recommend in favor of playing a spellcaster, especially a Venom Mage because Venom Mages are amazing. With that being said, let's go ahead and do Swamp. I think we have enough time to do the entirety of Swamp before calling it for the day. I normally stream for 4 hours and we're kind of approaching that mark, but I might have enough time to do a Swamp, as I mentioned. With that being said, if you're not following already, you might consider following. You don't really have to, but of course, it's free to do so. And, it might be in your best interest. If you enjoy the content, you will be getting notified when I stream and all that stuff. And if you enjoy the content and you're already following, you might consider like subscribing. You don't really have to, of course, but it does help me make more content and all that stuff. Yep. With that being said, being a character that has Fireball in Swamp is like one of the greatest things in the world because I can just Fireball everything. And thanks to Maclev, I have like unlimited fireballs because I like use fireball and I heal and I regain mana and I can like fireball again and I never run out of mana. It's so good. It is really fantastic. I am very much a fan of that. Okay, you know what? We can fireball. I probably should quiver fireball. Yeah, in Swamp, like there's a fair amount of things. Not everything is resistant to. Not everything is resistant to poison. I think Tyrant Leeches might not be resistant to poison. Alligators are also not, but Hydras and I think Bonjibs are also not resistant to poison. I don't know. They feel like they should be for some reason. Um, but yeah. There's a couple of things that are definitely resistant to poison, so I cannot really quiver poisonous vapors as I was doing for other places. Yeah, and Fireball also does a pretty good job here, burning the trees, being undodgeable. It's a pretty nice thing to have for this point in the game. I'm very glad that I got it from leveling up randomly. The game has given me an assortment of like actually very good spells, like um, between that and Statue Form, which is kind of my signature spell. The game really provided me with what I wanted in this character, which is funny because I was getting like Corpse Rot and random Garabash spells on my previous attempts at a Jhin. That might be related to the fact that I was like a melee character, and apparently Necromancy is supposed to be a melee support spell school, which I kind of disagree with. I think Necromancy is a boring school. Just like that. That would be the classification that I would give to Necromancy. Boring. But yeah, apparently the consensus is that Necromancy is good for supporting melee, and since I was a melee character, I was getting Necromancy spells to support my melee. I don't know. I don't know how animating skeletons is supposed to support your melee. I guess having allies makes melee a bit easier, but I'm just not used to having allies in Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. I tend to go through the game without using summonings, without using necromancy, without using many of the things that would normally give you an ally. For example, I have like a box of beasts, and I very rarely use that too, even though I recognize it as being pretty decent. Yeah, like if you summon a Chimera, like Chimera kind of trivializes the fight, right? As you can see here, the Chimera is just like destroying everything because it's an elder one. Those ones, like, look at that damage with the Fire Breath. 3 dice of 42. That's like on the same level as an Orb of Fire. And it's not even the highest level of Chimera that you can get. But yeah, I pretty much never use allies and box of beasts and that kind of stuff. It's just not my thing. Yeah, I guess it would be because I am not really that much of a fan of of having monsters attack each other, because I feel like it's extremely unreliable, and I feel like it's much more reliable to kill them yourself because you're controlling your own actions and you kinda can very easily identify when the fight is going downhill, as opposed to when a monster is fighting for you and you're at like full HP and away from the monsters, and then the monsters reach you and your imps jump away from you and leave you within melee range of like the ogre or something, and then the game goes to waste. Yeah, I feel like I just described my experience with Summoner. I've never been a fan of summonings, and it's kind of a shame because summonings have like cool spells, but they are high level spells. Same goes for Necromancy. Necromancy gets like really cool, really unique, really awesome effects that really break the game. Well, not really break the game, but give you like a lot to think about. Like for example, Revivification is a full heal, but every time you use it, you lose a bit of your maximum HP, or a lot. I haven't really used it a lot. So yeah, it's like not a no-brainer, but definitely a strong effect. Lich Form, well, Lich Form I'm not a fan of, even though I've used it before. But it does have some places where it's like amazing. There's also Death's Door that straight up prevents you from losing the game for a while. It's a pretty interesting effect as well, but unfortunately it being level 9 Necromancy means that I pretty much never have the chance to use it, because in order to train a skill to level 9 you kind of need to start at some point, and if the early point of that school doesn't really appeal to you, how are you ever going to get to the late points of the school that really do appeal to you? You know, I was thinking that I was not gonna be using poison a lot in here. Now that I think about it, there's a fair amount of monsters in here that straight up um, don't resist poison, like Goliath frogs, alligators, tyrant leeches. That's how they're called, tyrant leeches. Yeah, there's like a non-zero amount of monsters that don't resist poison, so they are a pretty good target for toxic radiance. And here we have a Bunjip. Bunjips are resistant to poison, at least. Yeah, I was under the false impression that they were not. Clouds of negative energy against a million zombies? I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Yeah, sometimes you get unlucky with your condenser bane and you get like useless or potentially even harmful to you clouds, like getting negative energy as a worshipper of a good god. Okay, not afraid of Mara because I have a anti-magic. Anti-magic is so good. It's like not afraid of Mara. Didn't even get to clone himself. That's how good anti-magic is. Acid Cloud and Slime. Oh, Acid Cloud and Slime sounds like a very feel-bad moment. Because normally you would be like, oh yes, I got Acid Clouds. The fight is won. Like the fight is trivialized as a result of getting Acid Clouds. In Slime, it's not the case. Yeah, it was randomly tabbing mana because I had evenings, the anti-magic. Like if without anti-magic, mana would have been like a legit problem. Um, yeah, I love anti-magic. I very rarely get to use it because it's like super rare nowadays and super hard to actually get. But when you do get the ability to use anti-magic, like wonderful things can happen. I wish I had Blink. Oh, I got Bogu. At some point I got Bogu. Okay, I really should use that because it's kind of helpful. And I can kind of cast it already. Yeah, I should consider using that. I didn't even notice when I got it. I guess I got it at experience level 19. I don't know. This seems kind of unsafe. I'm just gonna play it safe. Oh wow, I took a fair amount of damage there. Oh, I'm taking some damage here. Okay, was that like... Oh, it was two of them exploding. No wonder I took 52. It shouldn't really happen that much. But yeah, I'm very glad that I decided to teleport when I did, because otherwise things could have gotten kinda nasty. Um, I randomly tapped the Jeep, and I feel like that's a bit more noticeable than tapping mana, because mana doesn't deal that much melee damage. The greatest threat from mana comes from his spells. If he clones himself, or if he summons a copy of you, then the fight is not gonna be won. But before that, the fight is actually quite manageable. When it comes to Bunjips, they hit very hard. They hit for 43 times. They attack slowly like juggernauts, but they are not poison, or they are not weak to poison. They are actually poison resistant. So, so you cannot use the Curer strategy on them. Um, the Curer strategy would be just throwing a dart of Curer at the monster and then letting it attack you, which kind of makes it so that it takes forever for it to attack again. Because if it attacks slowly and it's already slowed, then it's like double slow, and it takes like 6 turns for them to attack again. Or maybe I'm exaggerating a bit, but it does take like noticeably longer when you use a Dart of Curer against Juggernauts. But you cannot do that against Bunjips, unfortunately. With that being said, we got the first rune, and we will continue this character tomorrow. I think this character is doing quite well. It has good melee, it has good spells, it has statue form, it is reasonably resilient, and it already has a kite shield. Let me go ahead and wear it before we finish. Oh, I'm carrying one of those. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and throw away the buckler, and let's go ahead and enter Bolts 1, and that's where we are gonna leave it for today. Yep. I feel like this character is doing pretty well. Like it feels legit pretty strong. It might be related to the fact that I am a Venom Mage. Might be related to the fact that I am with Maclev. It might also be related to the fact that I got a sick weapon. Um, but it might be related to the fact that I am a Jin. And it might be related to the fact that I am a Jin in conjunction with all of those things. So, I don't know. I guess I'm gonna have to play a bit more Jin to like make myself an idea of how Jin fares compared to the other species. So far it feels interesting, but I feel like there's some things that should be reworked when it comes to the Jin. Like maybe make it have a synergy with Behumet would probably be the most important thing in my opinion. I don't think that will happen, but it would be nice if it did. Well, with that being said, let's go ahead and watch some